Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
Hump day!
Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Let's guess what today is.
It's hump day.
Hey! 7 minutes late, but it's hump day.
Or am I on?
I guess.
Did somebody respond?
I guess we're on here. Welcome to the show, everyone. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I am glad we had a little technical glitch at the studio. I am glad that I got to hear Mike Greenberg talk about what he just spoke about, because I feel the exact same way. Greeny, I love Greeny. Greeny's great. I've been on a show a few times. I think he's fantastic. I think he's one of the most talented guys in the ESPN radio TV orbit. I love that guy. And I think he's highly entertaining. But what he said about how tonight he'll be at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks and the Celtics as he'll be hosting the NBA Countdown show on ESPN. What he said about that and the fact that he was going to the place, the Mecca of basketball, and the place that his father showed him a love for sports, and how he remembers the smell of it and the aura of it and everything. I identify with that unbelievably, because I'm that guy. I'm that guy that got to go to stadiums with my dad when I was a little kid, who took me to games, which I'll never forget, who then ended up at a Cleveland Browns affiliate and ended up in the locker room. And I went to the World Series with my father when I was 17 years old, and the Yankees were playing the Dodgers. And 35 years later, I was calling a Derek Jeter home run, doing a Yankees-Red Sox spring training game with Michael Kay in the pregame. I mean, so that feeling of being so lucky and so blessed, watching all of those Alabama games on TV growing up, being when my parents were at the New Year's Eve parties and things like that in Florida. The kids would have to go stay in the room. We could watch TV in Grandma and Grandpa's room, and watching the 72 Orange Bowl or the 73 Sugar Bowl, and Notre Dame and Alabama playing, and those two cases, Alabama winning those, or Notre Dame winning those games, but falling in love with the guy with the funny hat. And then the next thing you know, I'm covering Alabama. I'm doing pregame on the quad 35 years later. I mean, he's absolutely right. And the worst thing in the world, the absolute worst thing in the world is people in our business, in the sports business, that complain about their quote-unquote work or their job. Oh, yeah, I got to go to Tuscaloosa on Saturday, and then I got to go to Nashville on Sunday, and I got to work in the, I'm covering this, and I'm covering. Shut the hell up. We got the best job in the world. We work in the toy factory of life. I absolutely hate hearing people in this business complain about this business. It's awful. Absolutely awful. All right, so we're off script. Phone lines are open. Feel free to jump in. 256-576-4977. Do you know how many resumes I get from people who want this job or a job in this industry that do anything? Anything. Let me go in there and board up the football game on a weekend. Let me sell. Let me do anything to get in there. Get my foot in the door. Just to let me come in the studio and just see what it looks like. You don't want to see it right now. Kind of all tore up, but that's a story that we'll tell you later in the week or next week. But I'm telling you, every day. It's almost every day. I get people who are inquiring about how to get into the business, how to get a job with us, how to, And I'm never that guy that says, oh, you don't want to do it. Oh, this is cutthroat. Oh, you don't want to be in this business. Oh, are you kidding me? Man, are you kidding me? You don't want to be in this business. When you make too much money, they pull the trigger on you. You get too old. I'm never that guy. I recognize that this is the toy factory. I recognize it. You can text the show, 7329-TA-SHOW. Don't ask me for a job. 7329-TA-SHOW. 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with us. My personal Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. Mouth isn't working good today. Only 3 hours sleep last night. That's it. 3 hours sleep last night. So it ain't working quite right. You know why? I'll tell you why.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
It's actually kind of sunny today. Yeah. But she is gone, man.
It's not warm when she's away.
It was cold last night, man. Wasn't good.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Yeah. She's always gone too long.
Way too long. She's gone 9 days.
She goes away.
She's leaving me for 9 days.
Wonder this time where she's gone.
I know where she went. She went to New York. She went up to New York to see her family.
If she's gone to stay.
No, she's not gone to stay. She's coming home. But it's going to be like 8 more days.
When she's gone, and this house just ain't no Anytime she goes away.
Yeah. The Junkyard Babe is out of town for 9 days. She goes up once a year to see her family, and I don't go with her. I mean, sometimes I'd like to go. I wouldn't mind going up there. I have no family up there anymore. I have no family up there. I have a best friend up there, but I have no family up there. I would like to drag the boat up there and go fishing, but it's fall. What am I going to do? We're in the middle of everything here. But she goes up every year for a week. It takes her a day to drive up, a day to drive back. She took one of my sons with her for protection. I always encourage one of the boys to go with her if one of the ones that can get out of work. I got one son left that's in a situation where he could take a week off of work. So he went up with her. Kind of keep an eye on her. Make sure she's not stopping at a truck stop on the way. Stop at a gas station. It's not a truck stop. That kind of stuff. Clean places. Go in, if they got to get a hotel room and so on. But the first night she's gone, I have a hell of a time sleeping. I really do. I mean, I was up till 2. Then finally I turned the lights off and said, okay, let me go to sleep here. Could not go to sleep. Turned the TV back on at 3. I literally was up until 3:30 and woke up at 6:15 this morning. So the jaw isn't working good today. We're on the Twitch and the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there. The YouTube is 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Like and subscribe there. Go to 97.7ESPN.com. Get links to all of that stuff. And get the app. At the app, you'll find a link to Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. Madison Academy has John Paul II in the house on Friday night. They haven't won a game yet. That's John Paul II, not Madison Academy. With Steve Moulton and Glenn Laird on the air and on our primary stream Friday. Hopefully the Mustangs will take it easy there on John Paul II. Huntsville High is at Sparkman. It's an interesting game because it's a game between two middle-of-the-pack teams looking to finish the season strong, maybe get to 500 by season's end. I think they're both 3-5. Or is Huntsville's not 2-6, are they? I think they're 3-5. Austin Coletti and Drew Darman are on that game. You can hear that on Zone 2. I might go to that game. I might not. I might go to Franklin County game. I might not. I might watch the Bruins on the TV. Coming up in a few minutes, Josh Ward of the Sports Animal in Knoxville will join us to discuss a number of issues up on the Hill, including the game they have at Alabama on Saturday, and if the Vols have any shot at all. Of course, there was that debacle that happened the other day at on Saturday night at Neyland. So we'll get his take on that. And now Jeremy Pruitt's attorney says that
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
Yeah. On Pruitt suing the university. He's saying that he has some major dirt on Tennessee. And if they don't pony up on Pruitt's $12.6 million buyout or negotiate something, that they will sue, and all of this dirt's going to come out. Now, he's giving no details, being very nefarious about it. But he implied that everyone from Philip Fulmer to basketball coach Rick Barnes should be concerned. I mean, this is flat-out blackmail. Barnes fired back yesterday saying, come on, take a look at us. And he had harsh words for Pruitt as well. He said he supported Pruitt. Both Fulmer and Barnes have said that Jeremy Pruitt's issues were his own creation.
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
Yeah. Now, Pruitt's a defensive assistant for the New York Giants now, and his attorney claims that he will stay in the NFL. Of course he will. There's nobody in college that's going to hire him. I'll tell you, it's never dull up there. At the top of the 11, we'll have a Caray's Corner with Josh Caray to Trash Pandas. After last night's, well, you can't say anything other than heartbreaking Braves loss to the Dodgers. And look, Grizz, cover your ears. I just can't be a homer here. This is a huge story. And the drama in the 8th was incredible.
Jackson, his 18th pitch of the inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got a pitch to Bellinger. And a fly ball to right center field. It's well hit, and it is gone. A 3-run home run for Bellinger. We've got a new game. It's tied at 5 on a 1-2 pitch. Bellinger hits it out.
So I reached out to Grizz for some commentary. That's all I could get out of him.
I'm trying to be nice about it, too.
No. The Dodgers weren't done either.
Seager on deck. Betts with a fly ball to right. And it drops in for a base hit. It's going to roll to the wall. Taylor scores. Betts is at second base. The Dodgers with 4 in the 8th now lead the Braves 6-5.
So I knew that Grizz was useless at this point. So I went to Moulton to get his reaction. Apparently they were watching a game together. I got to be honest. I feel like I need to own this one a little bit. I was in the process in the 8th inning of the game. I'm in the process of writing about how nuts it was that this Braves team was headed to the World Series. Since no one recovers from down 0-3, right? I mean, that never happened. Well, it happened once. I think it happened once in 2004. Bloody sock and big steroid poppy, and so it happened once, I guess. One time in the history of baseball, 152 years, one time a team came back from down 0-3. Furthermore, the Dodgers, a team that was founded as the Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers 137 years ago. I need to turn my mic down a little, Chris. Here, I'll turn it down a little bit. 137 years ago had never, ever come back from down 3 runs past the 7th inning to win a playoff game. Never. So I was good, right? I mean, it was good. I go ahead and write the story, write the commentary. It was all going to be about how this Braves team, without Mike Soroka and without Ronald Acuna and without Marcell Ozuna, without 3 guys that were supposed to be key players in this team, how with all of that, this was the team going to the World Series, and how they had this special vibe around them. It wasn't the same old Braves. And then that happens. Had to rewrite the whole thing. Over there in that little glass room. I think he's over there. I can't quite see him right now. I don't know if I don't know if he's out on a ledge or what. We didn't let him have his belt or his shoelaces. He had to wear them Velcro sneakers that he wears today. No shoelaces, no belt.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the f*** it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Are you all right, my little friend?
I just hate being a fan of anything Atlanta-based, any kind of Atlanta franchise. It's just the absolute worst, and I feel for everyone else that is an Atlanta Braves fan that constantly watches this team just absolutely sit there, like lay down and just lose games like this. I mean, my goodness. Fans were leaving like they normally do in Dodger Stadium.
Show up late and leave early.
Terrible fan base.
Yeah.
All right? They were going to the Lakers game. They didn't care. There were people with their heads down in the game. In the crowd. Look around. My goodness. Stomp on them and finish them. My goodness. Yeah. And then I get it. I've heard it all morning. Jackson shouldn't have thrown that pitch. I mean, he had him on 2 sliders. He loves his slider. And then he throws that pitch. I mean, it's out of the zone. It was out of the zone, and he just
Bellinger hadn't. That is a pitch that Bellinger doesn't handle.
Yeah.
I mean, Bellinger hadn't had a hit on a high pitch in his zone like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give the credit to the hitter there, really.
Oh, yeah. No, the one positive thing I saw out of the Braves, though, for most of that night was Freddie starting to hit.
Well, and Freddie, how about Freddie? This is a true pro. This is greatness here when you see Freddie. Freddie's in this mini slump after, the big walk-off to win the, divisional series thing.
Yeah.
He's in this slump. He hasn't hit at all in the LCS. What's he do? Opposite way, opposite way, opposite way. Stay on the ball, stay on the ball, stay on the ball. So that's a very, very much positive thing. Here's a negative thing. 4 hours and 14 freaking minutes for a 9-inning game, followed by an ACLS game or an ALCS game that went 4 hours and 4 minutes for a freaking 9-inning game. I mean, a 9-inning game.
No wonder the Dodgers fans were leaving.
Are you kidding me?
They've been there all afternoon.
You could have played 2 Laker games during that time. 4 hours and 14 minutes.
Which I watched 0 of that Lakers game. It could have been an hour and a half.
Saw a minute and a half of it, I think. But that's the point.
And that's just not because I didn't want to watch it. I just fell asleep after the Braves lost.
Today the AL game is at 4:08, and the Braves are at 7:08. So what are we looking at? 11:30 tonight.
Oof.
We're looking at 11:30 tonight.
I might be up for a while tonight.
What time do you get up?
Every morning?
What time do you get up? Yeah, what time do you get up every morning?
About 5:30.
So you get up at 5:30 to go to work. I get up at 6:15 to go to work. I was up till 3 last night. Now I got to be up at least till 11:30 tonight.
Yeah, I'll be up. No, trust me, I'll be up. But
now look, she's gone, as you know. There's no sunshine when she's gone.
Of
but
course.
You know what there is when she's gone is copious amount of sports. I mean, think about it. I've got the Bruins playing tonight on TNT.
Yeah.
Against the Flyers. I'm talking about Original 6, my team, the Bruins, playing against first expansion Flyers. And also the Knicks and the Celtics on TBS. My Knicks, got to watch a little bit of it. So I'll be watching. And I got the Braves going on in the NLCS. I mean, and I kind of wanted to see a little bit of Coastal at Appalachia State because you watch Appalachia State knock down, beat down Coastal.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a 4-battery night in a remote. I mean, the remote's going to be humming tonight, man. Humming tonight.
That's what I like about YouTube TV. I can have it on my computer and I can just scroll down and click on the next one I want.
But you're still watching one at a time.
Oh yeah, but I can separate it and have like 2 screens going on at the same time.
I'm not. Too. And I got all the device. I got pads.
Yeah.
I got.
Like I can watch it on my phone while it's on the computer.
Yeah, I got a tablet and a computer and a phone and a TV. I could put multiple things. I'm not multiple screen guy for the most part.
I'm not either, really.
I just want to watch the thing that's up there.
Yeah. Like, I watched all of the Braves game last night, but I switched it over to the remaining, Bucks game, kind of flipped it back and forth, and I probably watched like at least the very end of the Bucks game before I just.
Now, I don't want to hear you whining about your Atlanta sports, though, because I'll say this. My Browns came in as a big-time Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
They're 3-3. They got a critical game against the 3-3 Broncos. They got to play it in the middle of the freaking week tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield.
Gone.
Kareem Hunt.
Gone.
Nick Chubb.
Gone.
Odell Beckham.
Gone.
Conklin.
Gone.
Will.
Gone.
Maybe the center, J.C. Treader.
Gone.
J.O.K., the linebackers, the rookie of the year.
Gone.
And Jarvis Landry.
Gone.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Tough.
You got to be kidding me.
That's tough.
I guess they're saying Beckham may play.
Like Case Keenum throwing him the ball.
They can't win with Case Keenum throwing him the ball. They can't win. It's just mind-numbing. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's get a break in here. We started a little bit late, so let's get a break in here so we can get back on path. And coming up next is Josh Ward, sports animal in Knoxville, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
The 2021-22 NBA season is underway. The Brooklyn Nets, the early favorite to win the championship at plus 250. They're followed by the Lakers at plus 375, the Bucks, the defending champs, at plus 900, and the Golden State Warriors at plus 1,000. Thursday night football tomorrow, the Denver Broncos at the Cleveland Browns, both teams 3-3 overall and 3-3 against the spread. The Browns a 3.5-point favorite, the over-under 42.5. ALCS tied at 2 games apiece. Astros at the Red Sox today for Game 5. Houston plus 110 on the money line. Boston minus 120. The over/under 9.5. The Braves up 2-1 in the NLCS. Plus 190 in Game 4. The Dodgers minus 210. Over/under 8.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Valley Equipment Rental. Pretty self-explanatory name, no? Thom Abraham here. And look, Valley Equipment Rental is all over the Tennessee Valley. And they rent equipment. All kinds of equipment. And not just to the contractors out there, but to you, the general public as well. Need a skid steer or an excavator? Well, they've got over 40 units to make sure they've got one for you. From huge boom lifts to miscellaneous hand tools, it's at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Parkway. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. More on that to come.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
In 2 years, you can have a career that makes sense for you. Skill up and earn a living working with your hands, or work on the front line of computer information systems and cybersecurity. Get a degree that lets your healing heart take care of people. Help design and manufacture the most advanced cars, machinery, or even aerospace components. In just 2 years, great careers are within your reach at Drake State Community and Technical College. Visit drakestate.edu to apply.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. That's actually pretty seasonal for this time of year. Overall, going to be a really nice afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Dropping into the upper 50s and lower 60s as we head into the overnight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be a pretty common theme through your Thursday afternoon. Not everybody's going to get wet at the exact same time, though, and the day's not going to be a complete wash. A partly sunny sky, temperatures hanging out in the mid and upper 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back, Thom Abraham Show. The segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage, serving all of Alabama, Florida, and Tennessee with conventional VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They can help you with purchases, refinances, and maybe you want to pull some of that cash out of the house, do a refinance for college expenses or for a home renovation or whatever it is that you're planning on doing. Maybe you got a big wedding coming up. Like I got 2 of them coming up next year, so maybe you need to pull a little bit of cash out to help with that. You can get it done with North Alabama Mortgage. Brian Hamaker and his crew do a tremendous job. Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to find out more. Joining us now, a guy that also does a tremendous job. Sports 180 is the name of his show. Josh Ward is his name, of course, with the Sports Animal up in Knoxville. Longtime contributor to the Thom Abraham Show, going back several years, to be quite honest with you. And he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Josh, welcome back, brother. How are you?
Tom, doing well. Great to be on with you.
Well, I appreciate you joining me. And, man, it seems like there's just never a lack of topics and what's going on in Knoxville with the University of Tennessee. It's just that it just never seems to be quiet. It's an ongoing deal.
It really doesn't. And Tennessee is able to find unique ways to create content for us in the business that we're in. But, things change from head coaching positions to the athletic director. You have a new regime with Danny White as the AD and Josh Heupel as the head coach. But the storylines, they continue to be there. So the latest would be what happened at the end of the game on Saturday, and Tennessee is still trying to move through with this NCAA case and everything that's going on. I think they're getting better in football, but there's a long way to go to where they want to be. And I keep coming back to, the results need to really change before anything else is truly going to at Tennessee. We go through these phases where people buy in, you have the honeymoon period, and then everything else that always follows after that.
Yeah, it seems it's been like 15 years, that's been going on. It's around and around and around. You think back to the halcyon days of the basketball program, with Bruce Pearl and then everything that happened there. The fact that Rick Barnes, really the team underperformed a little bit. I mean, they certainly thought that they were going to be a much better basketball team last year. And, in football has been the ongoing search to find the right guy. But we have been given tons of audio. I mean, I did it yesterday. It was a Tuesday Top 10 day yesterday, and I played all of the audio from whether it was VFL and Derek Dooley and Rommel, or whether it was The Gap is Closing with Jeremy Pruitt and Butch Jones' Champions of Life. I got a whole board on my soundboard. I got a whole page that is nothing but Tennessee coaches making some amazing comments.
Yeah, and that's another part of it as well. Tennessee has kind of gone opposite each time. So every coach that's come in has been different than the previous coach, from Kiffin to Dooley to Butch to Jeremy Pruitt, and now Josh Heupel, I think, is very different from a coaching standpoint and personality in a lot of ways from Jeremy Pruitt. Not wound as tight, I'll say that, with Jeremy Pruitt. But Tennessee tries to zig and zag, and my show's called Sports 180, so they go 180 every time.
There you go.
And but the results have stayed the same. Now maybe that won't be the case. It's year one with Josh Heupel, and I think fans are happy with the results early on. But the results at this point, the wins are against South Carolina and Missouri. Well, those are two of the worst teams in the SEC. So we're still a long way from knowing what exactly Josh Heupel will be able to do at Tennessee, and he's trying to work through a lot of the stuff in the meantime to get Tennessee where it needs to go. I mean, you have to recruit, and recruiting's not where it needs to be. So they're trying to work through that to improve it, because if you don't have the players, Tom, I'm not breaking any news here, if you don't have the players in the SEC, you're not going to have all the wins you want either. And
let's get one thing out of the way. As to the spot, the thing that caused all of that tension, of course, on this past Saturday night. I'll be honest with you. I thought they blew it at first because I thought the ball was in the hand that reached out across the line. That reached way out. And then realizing, looking at the replay, no, that was his empty hand, that the ball was actually tucked into his belly. I thought they got the spot right? I mean, is there anybody legitimately in the media up there in Knoxville that are looking at it and saying, man, they got screwed on that spot?
No, not that I've seen. I've not seen any replay that shows that he got it. I'm like you. So I'm in the press box, Tom, watching the game. And real time, I don't see where the ball is. And so I'm looking up at the TV screen, which is right above my head. And the first couple of replays, I thought the ball was in his right hand. So I said, oh, he got it because it went over the line very clearly, I thought. And then, when they had a more zoomed-in replay, I could tell, well, the zoomed-out shot doesn't show it. The ball's tucked away. So maybe he did get it, but I've yet to see anything that shows that he did, and he definitely didn't get it by extending his right hand, which I think is what had so many fans in the stands upset, and maybe at home upset, thinking, hey, the right hand gets across, because I've got text threads and all that, and saying, hey, he got it by more than a yard. Well, that's definitely not true. So I don't have any issue with. I don't think they should have overturned it. If they had given him the spot, I don't think they're going to overturn it and take it away either.
Right.
So it's unfortunate for Tennessee that it played out that way, but it was not a definite first down. That's for sure.
Josh Ward with us from the Sports Animal in Knoxville. If it's not Lane Kiffin, does that scene devolve the way it did with everything coming out of the stands? How much of that was Lane Kiffin? How much of that was just frustration with the referees? Who did not have a good day, by the way, in other calls.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree there. It's a combination. Kiffin's a part of it because we've taken calls saying, hey, Lane Kiffin in the stadium. It's just, I think a lot of it is the build-up. You have the build-up all day. So all day to get ready for this night game where there's a ton of energy in the stadium, and the atmosphere was terrific at the start of the game. You had a game that, it took a long time. This was late at night, Tom, when this happened with the incident after that spot call and non-reversal, and then the officiating calls earlier in the game. So it kind of was building up to that point. But then, it's not all the 15 years, but the 15 years leading up to this, fans are they're tired of losing. They're tired of feeling like things are being taken away from them and not going their way. And it's not right, but I think it's just it's a culmination of everything. But Kiffin being in the building is for sure a part of it.
And haven't we seen, since the fans have come back to the stadiums this year across all sports, it seems like we've seen more aggressive fans. And it was, to be honest with you, it went from being, to being kind of scary because you start thinking about it and it doesn't. I remember doing one of my first TV games that I ever did when I got out of coaching, and it was like a Colgate and I don't know who, Colgate and Ithaca, it was what it was on TV up north, and this was a bitter rivalry. And all of the fans had come down right before the end of the game. They had come down into the end zone, and there were 4 cops with police dogs, and to keep them off the field. And there was like 3,000 fans who had piled up in the end zone ready to rush the field. And I remember counting the dogs on the teleprompter and saying, they don't have enough dogs. If the fans want to do something totally unruly, there was 100,000 plus in that stadium. There's no way of stopping it, right? I mean, once it starts, it doesn't seem like it was kind of scary, you know, and it makes you worry about what could happen at one of these games.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I thought about that while it was going on, and definitely afterward, because after the game, I went down to the field, going to the press room, and I talked to one of the guys who was working security, and just talked about how awful that was to try to deal with, and actually complimented Lane Kiffin with how he handled it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's entitlement, there's a lack of accountability, but the amount of people that are just okay with it or just brushing it off, like, it's not the end of the world, but that's such a lame response, too. That's not the end of the world. Well, who claimed that it was? Did anybody say, yeah, Armageddon occurred Saturday night at Neyland Stadium? No, it's not a good look, and it's also true that, yeah, it's a small percentage of the fans that were doing it, but it's not that small of a percentage of the fans that defended it. So it's not just at Tennessee either, and Tennessee fans have pointed out, well, at the Ole Miss basketball game a couple of years ago, actually playing against Tennessee, they're throwing trash on the floor. It was at the end of the game. So I think a lot of people say, well, what's the difference? Well, the game being over, I guess, is part of the difference, as opposed to a 20-minute delay where you had to get cheerleaders and band members out of there. That would be one difference to point to, I guess. But so, no, it's not the end of the world. And there can be overreaction. There probably has been on both sides to it. But can we not step back and say, hey, you know what, that's probably not the best idea. You know, throwing stuff on you want to shout, you want to yell, you want to curse, whatever. You want to text a buddy, as Danny White has recommended to the fan base plenty of times. Go that route. But throwing stuff on the field, which all the stuff doesn't get to the field. Some of it hits fans in the stands.
A lot of it.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, it was just dumb. Josh Ward with us here. All right, concurrent with all of this, the Jeremy Pruitt story and the ominous claims that are being made by his attorney now, Michael Lyons, who's saying, look, man, you know, Jeremy Pruitt was fired with cause, and they withheld his buyout of over $12 million. And so now they're finna sue the university. The university kind of saw that this could possibly be coming, but they're kind of going with this smoking gun type of defense and saying that, look, you don't settle this deal and pony up some cash for this guy. We are going to uncover a lot of bad stuff, but yet they're giving no details. I mean, this is a hell of a Texas Hold'em type bluff. What's your take on what's going on here, and should the university be concerned about what this guy might have?
Yeah,
like
if I'm a Tennessee fan, I don't like seeing this. So I think fans are excited about Rick Barnes' response, because he fired back, and Philip Fulmer with his response saying that, you know, Jeremy Pruitt has no one to blame but himself. But yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, and I would just in general never want dirty laundry to possibly be aired, because I mean, let's just be real about how things work in major college athletics, which Tennessee football and Tennessee basketball is. You never know what could come up. You never know what could be going on. So that my thought the entire time has been, find a settlement with Jeremy Pruitt and move along. And no, you don't want to pay him the money, but I'm sure they didn't want to pay all the money to Kevin Steele to never coach at Tennessee, but they did it. And they paid a buyout to Philip Fulmer, Jeremy Pruitt's boss, when both were let go. So I'm sure Jeremy Pruitt's attorney is going to say, wait a minute, Jeremy Pruitt's boss, he got his money. Why is my client not getting his money?
Right.
So I don't know where it goes, but I don't see how this helps Tennessee for this to continue on. And I don't know what's going to come out of it, but you know, that was an interesting list of people from different coaching regimes that the attorney for Jeremy Pruitt said, yeah, we want to preserve the records here. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that it's not over. And if I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm tired of this. I'm over it.
And if they settle with him now, doesn't it look like they are trying to hide something? I mean, it's kind of like a catch-22. It's like, hey, if you don't pay my guy, we got this dirt on you. And then if you go ahead and come up with some sort of, you know, they give him $6 million, whatever, half of the buyout and settle it, then it looks like, well, what the heck do they have? You know, this is really, it almost looks like it has to go to court.
Well, but that's not good. So,
no. Yeah.
No. So yeah, I guess it does. But then I think people move on quickly, and people forget because they're so used to settlements, and they're so used to people being paid off, and they're so used to college football coaches getting their money to not work
with no admission of guilt. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So when I say that, I think they should have settled, and I think they should have given Jeremy Pruitt part of his money, not all of his buyout, but I don't think he expects or his attorney expects all of it. It's a ton of money. I'm not saying, hey, good for Jeremy Pruitt to get his money. I don't mean that at all. But it's just that's how the idiotic business is done often in college football, where you have these contracts for coaches who haven't earned any of the money in the first place, and then they're owed a lot of money because they weren't good enough to earn it while they were actually doing the job. So then you fire them. So I'll also say this: while Jeremy Pruitt was the coach, while he was coaching, while his assistants, a couple of them who were fired, especially Brian Niedermeyer, it was not a secret what the allegations that Tennessee laid out were. It was not a secret while they were a coach. So if you talk to people who cover recruiting, if you talk to people that were really in it, and some of the names that Tennessee was recruiting would come up, a lot of the response was, well, who's the highest bidder? It wasn't a secret.
Yeah.
So for Tennessee to then act like, oh, Jeremy Pruitt, shame on him for all that he was doing in secret, get out of here. So that's just not true.
Yeah, that's a great point. And then too, you wonder about Philip Fulmer's legacy, but Rick Barnes was pretty certain that he felt comfortable. That come on, take a look at us. You'll see that we're doing things right. To the game coming up on Saturday. Of course, Alabama's like 23, 24-point favorite, but hey, they were 17.5-point favorite at Texas A&M. Is there? Pruitt famously said the gap is closing. Didn't feel like the gap is closing, but. Is there a path, and what is the path to Tennessee somehow ending this stranglehold that Nick Saban has over the Vols?
I don't see one. I can't sit here and I can tell you, hey, yeah, force 3 to 4 turnovers and don't turn the ball over and you hit big plays. I guess that's what the answer is, but there's a reason Bama is as massive a favorite as it is, and now Alabama knows it has no margin for error, so it can't lose this game. So you shouldn't expect any kind of letdown factor. And actually, Tennessee's the one dealing with some real injury issues going into the game, where it's not expected that quarterback Hendon Hooker will be able to go. You have some offensive line injuries. Running back Tyon Evans questionable to play this week. So I can tell you what Tennessee does have to do, and it is you have to win the turnover battle by a big margin, because Texas A&M doesn't win that game if they don't have the Brian Robinson fumble and the turnover in the end zone. So that part's obvious, and you have to hit big plays and limit them from the other side. But is there a realistic path to Tennessee winning in Tuscaloosa? No, and I don't know a single Tennessee fans that think there is.
Wow. Josh Ward has been our guest. Josh, I appreciate you so much. Keep up the great work. Again, his show is Sports 180 up there in Knoxville. You can check that out at the Sports Animal, and he's been our guest today. Josh, I appreciate you, man.
Always fun. Thanks, Tom.
All right, thank you. Josh Ward. Good stuff there. He doesn't see a path. Of course, Alabama, if they turn it over, they've lost the last 4 games that they've turned the ball over at least twice in. Not a plus-minus of -2, just turn it over twice. They've lost the last 4 doing that, so they do have to take care of the football, because this Tennessee team has shown an ability to move the ball and score. But if Joe Milton is quarterback, forget about it. Let's get a break. We'll come back with more next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500. Two Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. Two Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at twomaidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
Jesus tells us to go the second mile. Well, sometimes it's hard enough to go the first mile. But when the Lord is number one in our lives, we not only go the first mile, but we embrace the second mile. We can talk all we want about Jesus and how important he is to us, but we show it in the second mile. In the second mile, the world has changed. In the second mile, the difference is made. In the second mile, the lost world sees Christ in us. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. And check us out at cpcfamily.org.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Roll Tide, War Eagle, and yeah, you, the Vols fan. We got it all covered on the Thom Abraham Show.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Like you coming to me and saying, "Hey, I want a raise. If you don't give me a raise, I'm going to tell the JYB that you looked at the waitress at Baumhaus."
Is this window shopping?
No, I mean you don't.
I wouldn't do that to you though.
Just
I'm not that mean.
Just because you appreciate.
I try not to burn bridges.
Attractive. Sight that may pass in front of your eyes, it doesn't mean that can act on it, but you understand. Coming up at the top of the hour, Josh Caray will be joining us. A little Caray's Corner. Talk a little country hardball with him off that really, really tough loss last night. Today's game is huge. It's huge. Since only 14 teams out of 89 in the history of baseball have come back to win a best-of-7 series after dropping 3 of the first 4 games. The last team to do this, it's been a while. Like last year's NLCS when the Braves did it to...
Yeah, real
when the Dodgers did it to the Braves.
And on that note...
But hey, it doesn't happen all the time. And you know what was different, Chad? Last year, the Dodgers had home ice.
Yeah.
So they had to go back there for the last 2. This time, if the Braves go up a couple, come on. They go up 3-1, and they got 3 games to close out, and 2 of those are in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Keep with the small ball. Keep hitting the ball. Keep helping the pitchers out because you know the bullpen's going to do it again. Please don't do it again, bullpen. That's all I got to say.
Well,
bullpen of the old feeling like it.
Everybody's pitching today. All right, we'll be back. Josh Caray is next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000 square foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff.
For a firearm at Bullet and 5-star indoor shooting range to support you after the sale. Bullet and Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. No more speculation about the future of Aaron Boone. He'll return as Yankees manager, 3-year contract with a team option for 2025. His status was uncertain after the Yankees finished third in the AL East and were beaten as 4:30 Eastern ESPN Radio. Atlanta's up 2-0. Red Sox take a 2-1 lead in Game 4 of the ALCS against the Astros, 7:30 Eastern ESPN Radio. An MRI confirmed Titans first-round pick, cornerback Caleb Farley tore the ACL in his left knee on Monday Night Football. He'll have surgery, is expected to be ready for the start of the 2022 season. Opening night in the NBA is tonight. Defending champion Bucks and Nets meet up in the first game of the season, 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
And now, another out-of-context moment from the Thom Abraham Show that sounds dirty.
I was actually trained as a plumber, so I know my way around a pipe here and there.
Stay tuned for more from Thom on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Jackson, his 18th pitch of the inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the pitch to Bellinger. And a fly ball to right center field. It's well hit, and it is gone. A 3-run home run for Bellinger. We've got a new game. It's tied at 5 on a 1-2 pitch. Bellinger hits it out.
That was the last part there. That was Braves radio there, the last part there. I'm not sure if that was 100% true or not. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. All of your service needs are accomplished at Woody Anderson Ford. The service department is second to none. You won't believe it. When you get down, it looks like a NASCAR garage, and they're very, very smart. And you don't have to have a Ford for it to be serviced by Woody Anderson Ford. So go on down to Woody Anderson Ford and check that deal out. I did have audio. Josh Caray was live streaming the game last night. I do have some audio from his house. And he joins us now for Caray's Corner, of course, the voice of the Trash Pandas. Josh, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if it was like that. It was more like a type of moment. But, yeah, it was pretty rough. That was a pretty rough way to lose last night.
It was, and I take full responsibility for it. You know how this works when you're in our business. 8th inning.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the Barca Lounger. I've got my laptop on my lap on my little laptop stand thing that that sits on my lap there, and I'm putting my thoughts together, and I decide to start writing my commentary for today, and I start writing about how incredible it is that this is the Braves team that's going to go to the World Series, because nobody comes back from down 0-3. I mean, it's only happened once in the history of baseball, bloody sock and all that crap. But, this Braves team without Acuna, without Ozuna, without, Soroka, this team is going to the World Series, and it all collapsed right there in front of me. I had to come up with a completely different topic for the deal. So it's my fault for going ahead and thinking that they had won the game when they were up 5-2 in the 8th inning.
Well, and maybe your fault, and it's also Cody Bellinger's fault.
Yes, that guy too.
It's amazing what one man can do, and if LA does come back and win this series, I don't know, and obviously we don't know what's going to happen the rest of the way. But go ahead and chalk him up for the MVP, because he single-handedly turned this thing around. They were as dead as I've seen a team in a playoff series.
Yeah. And
all Atlanta needed was 5 more little outs. And like you said, if they do that, you don't need a win today you want to win today to finish it off, but you have some wiggle room today, and then, maybe you go for broke tomorrow with Max Fried. But, golly, they would have been in the driver's seat. They would have had their foot on the Dodgers' necks. And they didn't do it. And now the door's been cracked open, and that's a really good team you're facing in their house.
Yeah, and a lot of people are talking about the pitch, that Jackson threw, but Bellinger hasn't hit that high ball. He hasn't jumped on top of that ball that's up in the zone like that. You got to give credit. A lot of times people want to talk about, the pitcher or what happened. You got to give credit to the Dodgers here. I mean, they're the ones that made the plays here. And Mookie Betts, I mean, this is why you pay all that money to Mookie Betts. He gets the knock to give them the lead. And then Jansen comes in. And I don't know what the hell is going on with that little hip thing. You know what I mean? Especially when the guy's a how is that not a balk? You know what I mean? I see that little thing he does when he twists his hip, and it just doesn't look right. But you got to give the other team some credit here.
Yeah, and, they asked Luke Jackson after the game, what would you do it? Would you throw that pitch again? And he said, absolutely. I mean, and it really wasn't a bad pitch when you think about it. He had thrown him 2 sliders low in the zone. So it's very common to try and change eye level on an opposing hitter and keep him off balance. So why not throw it high, throw him a fastball? And he threw it out of the zone. That thing was, for lack of a better term, tomahawked. And you throw that pitch 100 more times, I don't think Cody Bellinger gets another ball out of there, because that's a very difficult ball to hit. He just happened to hit that one, and you tip your cap to him.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They left 10 guys on base in the game. Adam Duvall in the 4th inning there, I was like, I couldn't believe that Ron Washington put the brakes on Adam Duvall. I mean, that just looked obvious that he would score. But ultimately, that did not hurt them. A lot of people say, they needed that run. They needed that run. They could have used that run at the end. They did get that run, right? I mean, that I don't think that would have changed anything. If he scores there, they were still going to send up to bat Charlie Morton, even though they had a guy on deck to potentially pinch hit. They were going to put Charlie Morton up there. Some people thought that maybe Ron Washington got faked out by seeing the pinch hitter coming out on deck, and that's why he held him. But ultimately, he scores when Eddie Rosario gets walked. So really, it's kind of a no harm, no foul, right?
No, I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, if you've got, I don't think they would have had that happen. Meaning having a pinch hitter in that situation. I think you got to stick with Charlie Morton until he just runs out of gas. So maybe they were just trying to deke out the Dodgers, if nothing else. But what you do there is you hold up Duvall, because if he's thrown out at the plate, then maybe you got to lead off with Morton next inning, and you don't want to lead off with your pitcher. So, it's easy. It's so easy to play Monday morning quarterback the following day.
Right.
At the end of the day, you're still up by 3 runs with only 5 outs to get.
Right.
The other team just made the plays, like you said. And if you're the Braves, that's the way you need to look at it heading into today, is that you've outplayed these guys through the vast majority of the series. You've got them. You just got to get the job done now. It's going to be a little harder, but don't let this one carry over now into today, and then have a tied series heading into tomorrow.
And the numbers show, too. I mean, if you go up 3-1, I mean, it's only happened 14 times out of 89 in the history of baseball where a team has come back from down 3-1. Now, it happened last year to the Braves by the Dodgers in the NLCS. Right. But the difference is they had 2 of the 3 in L.A., where this time 2 of the 3 would be in Atlanta. Today's huge. I mean, it's a bullpen game. Everybody throws, I guess, and this is another one of the nuances of the new baseball, right? Is that we get these games, like you get to game 4, and it's a quote-unquote bullpen game. Bats got to come alive and do what they got to do. It probably need 6 runs to win this game today.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough because this Urias has been great all year. I mean, you don't win 20 games and have a sub-3 ERA for nothing.
Right.
And he's coming off a bad outing, but it's funny. He hasn't. I don't think he pitched past the 7th inning all season long. And so Dave Roberts, I'm still questioning what he was doing in Game 2, putting him in there in the 8th inning. Easy to say that now, but I don't see him coming out and having a second bad outing. So it's going to be tough today. And this is why trying to get the win yesterday and finishing that off would have been so crucial. Is not only are you up 3-0, but now you have a huge margin for error where you can throw the bullpen out there and you can lose 10-2 for all we care. And you just come back out and you try to finish it off on Thursday. Now, as it is, you might need 5 or 6 runs to win today. And you've got arrested Urias. Dodgers, they used a bunch of pitchers, but they've got some guys ready to go. They have a few other guys who didn't throw that many pitches yesterday. Right now, the tide is turning a little bit, but it's still in your favor. You can get control of this series back, but the question is, can you get to this guy today? It's going to be pretty tough.
You got to get to him early, too. I mean, we see that all the time with these pitchers. We saw it with Charlie Morton, really. The Dodgers jumped on him in the first inning, and Morton was able to do what Morton does. He's such a bulldog, man. He was able to kind of change to he still walked 6 guys, but he walked 4 of them, early in that game, and they got out of it,
Yeah, and Tom, don't underestimate. Tomorrow it's the Dodgers who are going with their bullpen. So if you can get them down 3-1, their bullpen's a little banged up right now, then you really got them against the ropes. So that's why I feel like this is a must-win, because if you get this one today, you really have a great chance of finishing this off tomorrow. So, yeah, I say throw the kitchen sink at it today.
You and I are both pretty much traditionalists, and I think we've talked a little bit about the DH, though, in the past. And this is I mean, there was a moment in this game that if anything screamed, I don't know. Some people will call it strategy. To me, it was a dead point in the game. When Charlie Morton came up in the 4th, they told him, do not swing the bat. I mean, they don't want any chance of him hitting into a double play. They literally just sent him up there and sacrificed an out. It would be like in, now what they do with the walk. They put up 4 fingers and give him the automatic. He could have gone up, put up 3 fingers. That's 3 strikes. Get me the hell out of here. If anything screams we need to DH in the NL, I think that was the moment. What was your take on that? And he just stood there with the bat on his shoulder and waited for the guy to throw 3 down the middle.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, you're supposed to compete, right? So go up there and compete. And who knows? Maybe ball finds bat and it finds the outfield and you get a hit, and that's great. But here's where I disagree with you, Tom. I do a podcast here with the Trash Pandas, the Josh Caray Show, which you can find on the Trash Pandas Podcast Network, TrashPandasBaseball.com if you want to check it out. and I did a little deconstruction of Game 7 of the NLCS from 1992. And what I had completely forgotten about in that half inning was when Francisco Cabrera came to the plate. The Braves only had one guy left on their bench, one position player, and it was Javier Lopez, who hadn't played in a major league game all season. And the reason why that was the case is because Atlanta had fallen behind 2-0 in the sixth inning, I think it was, and Bobby Cox was mixing and matching, throwing up all these pinch hitters, trying to get back into the game. And with the pitcher in there, you as a manager really have to manage things, hence the word manager, to keep your most competitive ball club up there while still trying to get back into the ball game. And it was so fascinating because my dad and Joe were breaking down, hey, where can this guy go? If the game is tied and we go into extra innings, where can they put Ron Gant? Where can they put Brian Hunter? Where can they put, this guy, that guy? There were so many. If you're one of these guys who enjoys the thinking side of the game, this is why you love the pitcher in there, because it makes you think, and you really have to manage things. With the DH, it's just kind of straight up. I just don't feel there's as much strategy involved with the DH, and that's why I'm against it, and that's why I'll be very sad when it comes to the NL next year.
Was that game in 92 4 hours and 14 minutes for 9 innings? I mean, the AL game went 4:04. The Braves game went 4:14. I mean, goodness gracious almighty. And I love baseball, but come on. 4:14 for 6 innings or 9 innings of a 6-5 game. This is crazy.
Yeah, and they have to say to themselves, this is absurd. I mean, at some point, both sides, and I hope they do this at the CBA meetings this off season, someone's going to just have to sit down and say, guys, we got to figure something out. And I think where it'll start is, number one, get rid of the shift. Move 2 men to each side of second base. That's one thing we did here at AA this year, and I think it really helped the game and forced guys to put the ball in play more. But also really get teams to start pushing their starting pitchers. Let's quit with the 4 and 5 inning efforts. Quit taking them out after 2 times through the order. That Game 7 between the Braves and Pirates, Doug Drabeck, when 8+ shutout innings before being lifted, he threw 128 pitches. I mean, let's get these guys to toughen up, and let's get them to go a little deeper into the game. If you take away all of these pitching changes, the Dodgers had 9 yesterday. They'll go with the bullpen tomorrow. The Braves have a bullpen today. That's another reason why the game is just so slow, and they're killing themselves. They are shooting themselves in the foot because people don't want to sit there for 4 hours, and I don't blame them.
Well, one of the things they can do with that is get your guy ready in the bullpen. He comes in, he gets 2 pitches and go. You slow down. You don't even need to go to a commercial break. He comes in, throws the ball twice, and let's go. If you're going to do it, because they did clean up some of that by doing the 3-batter thing, and I don't care if they're changing pitchers every inning if it's in between the innings. Here's my thought, Josh. This stuff there's rules. This is on the umpire. There are rules on the books. My understanding is that the rule is when the pitcher gets the ball back from the catcher, he has 12 seconds to deliver the ball. So get the ball, toe the rubber, throw the ball, and these umpires, these guys that keep getting out of the box, pitcher has the ball, throw the ball. If he's out of the box, he's out of the box. They got it. I think the umpire can speed the game up. And if the pitcher doesn't throw the ball and it's 12 seconds and the buzzer goes off in the umpire's pocket or whatever, ball 1, boom, let's go. Mm-hmm. Ball 2, just move the game along. And the rules are on the book. You're not supposed to step out unless you got a fly in your helmet or a bee, in your bonnet. These guys get out. I watched Joey Gallo change his entire gear in between every pitch, gloves and everything. It's crazy.
And in the 110 games or whatever we played here with the Trash Pandas, I saw that called one time where a guy stepped out of the box and he was taking too much time and the umpire just called a strike on him.
Yeah.
And you're right. At some point, the umpires are going to have to take it upon themselves to enforce the rules. If it's a rule, enforce it. And if you keep enforcing it, guys will eventually change. The reason they don't want to do it right now is that the games are so crucial that they don't want a game to be decided on something like that. And I get it. So it has to start during the regular season when the games are not as meaningful. Get the guys out there and hold their feet to the fire, and be sure that you, Rob Manfred, and be sure you, Tony Clark of the Players Association, stay behind the umpires and say, listen, guys, these are the rules, and we're doing it for the betterment of the game. Get your butt in the box, get your butt on the rubber, throw the ball, swing the bat, let's go. There's no excuse for a typical baseball game to be more than 2.5 hours, and we're at 4. It's insane.
I watched on the ESPN Classic the 1955 Yankees-Dodgers game 2, maybe it was game 2 or game 2, something like that, 1955 World Series. I mean, nothing's bigger than the World Series, right? World Series game. It was like a 2-1 game or a 3-2 game, something like that. And it was literally 2 hours and 12 minutes. And I couldn't take my eyes off of the game because pitcher got the ball, towed the rubber, threw the ball. Got the ball back, towed the rubber, threw the ball. Got the ball back. Nobody's getting out of the box. They're in there. They're ready. These guys don't even have helmets on. They got no batting helmet. And it was just they don't have any gloves on to fix the gloves and to fix all the gear and the elbow pad and everything else. And it was glorious. Now, I'm not saying, I need a 2 hour and 12-minute game, but the pace of the game was so good you literally couldn't look away. Where this, look at my head, I got to see the card, we're going to change the signs, where all this jerking around that's going on. That's the issue isn't the game, even the ball being in play. The issue is all the dead time, and I think the umpire can control it.
Yeah, it's pace of play. I mean, that's the issue. It's
pace,
not the rule for the game. The game of baseball is as great as it's ever been. It's the pace that's absolutely killing people. And so you got to find a way to quicken the pace. And is that going to hurt some careers? I'm sure it will. But you know what? You cannot if you're baseball and if you're the players and if you're the owners, you know a little bit about marketing. Right now, you're not exactly promoting the game very well when it's taking forever and a day. You talked about the 2 hour, 12-minute game. It used to be you get to a ball game that starts at 2 and ends at 4:30. You can go out and do something else with the family before going home. Now, forget about it. You go to a 7 o'clock ball game, you got to leave in the 5th or 6th inning so you can get home and get a night's rest. How do you grow a fan base? How do you get a future generation of fans? If I'm 12 years old, I wouldn't be watching baseball because it would bore the living heck out of me. And what no one seems to want to make an effort, and that's what's the most frustrating thing.
I've got 20-year-olds, early 20-year-olds that were outstanding baseball players that come and sit down and they'll watch like 2 or 3 innings and they move on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they're not 12, they're 22, and they know the game, they understand the game, and they're just like, they just move on. And I hate it for it to happen. And in other sports, they made an effort. Like there used to be this thing in the NHL, the unwritten rule: 10 minutes to go in the game, the referees would swallow their whistle. The NFL, you wouldn't get calls, late in the game. But all of that has changed because those sports understand that. A penalty is a penalty, whether it's in the last minute of the game, and the last interference in the last seconds of a game. They're going to call it. No, it's the same thing with baseball. Big game, it's important. You know what? This is the rule. You got 12 seconds to throw the ball, and you don't get to get out of the box unless there's a significant issue. You don't just get out just to get out because you want to fix all your gear.
Yeah, and I think, and again, if you start doing that in the regular season when you have 6 months to get guys acclimated to it,
sure,
it'll be seared into their brain by the time they get to October, and continue to implement it here in the minor leagues, because as they continue to work with it in A-ball, AA, AAA, they won't need April through September to figure it out. That'll already be inside their head when they already reach the majors.
How beautiful was it to see Freddie Freeman stroking it the other way? That's the way a professional hitter breaks a little mini slump. He hadn't done anything in this series since he won the NLDS for them. He hadn't done anything in this CS, and he gets up there and he goes the other way. And I was listening to the radio broadcast, and Joe was saying that in batting practice, he did that throughout batting practice, just kept stroking the ball to right or to left field. And he kind of got that stroke down, and then he took it to the game. 3 singles. I know it's Freddie Freeman. I know you want him to hit the long ball, but that's the way you move the line along and play ball.
the most punishment for any hitter is going to be middle in. So if a guy is swinging the bat well, they're going to look to go away on someone. And if you start struggling, just start going the other way. And you don't see guys do that anymore. That's why you have the shift on, and that's because guys absolutely refuse to do that. Want to break out of a slump? Go to where there are fewer players positioned. Just hit some easy base hits out of it, and then suddenly the field opens for you. Freddie is doing things that hitters have been doing since the beginning of this game's creation, and you just wonder to yourself, are other guys watching this? Do they get it? And I understand there are some guys who are just hard pressed, and they are who they are. I get it, and there aren't that many guys who are like that. And so you hope that more people will take a look at Freddie and say, "This is the way you do it," and it's been that way for decades.
Who was it? Leo DeRosa? Who said hit it where they ain't? I mean, that's that's the essence of the game. They said, baseball isn't a hard game. Hit it where they ain't. And they ain't on the other side most of the time these days with the shift,
There's 3 men to the right of second. There's 1 to the left. Where do you think you have a better shot of getting ahead? It's not that hard. It's really not that complicated.
Yeah, good point. Josh Caray has been our guest. Josh, enjoy the baseball tonight. Hopefully you don't have anything to do too early tomorrow morning because we're looking at 11:30 tonight. I mean, it's a 7:08 Central Time start. We're looking at 11:30. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's got to be 11:30 probably by the time this game is. It could be midnight for all we know. I mean, it's just insane. But this has been a great National League series. All 3 games have been dramatic, and I expect it'll be a great game tonight.
And that's why it's so important that we get these games to move along because they are great games. It's a chance to get new fans. But like you said, you got to quicken the pace.
Yeah, there you go. Josh Carey's been our guest. Thanks, Josh.
See you, partner.
All right, since we did a little baseball, we always do a little baseball on Wednesday, until the World Series is over. It's the middle of the week. The football week starts. I know there's a game tonight, but the football week starts tomorrow. And the Browns JV playing against the Denver Broncos. And obviously we spent Monday and Tuesday wrapping up what went on over the weekend. We got some football I want to get into, some conference realignment. But I have something in front of me that I was startled by. And you know me, I'm a historian. I'm a sports historian. But I have something related to this past season of baseball in front of me that I want to share with you. We get the phone lines open the rest of the way. You want to jump in, 256-576-4977. You're going to learn something in the next segment right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom
7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Thursday night football tomorrow. The Denver Broncos at the Cleveland Browns. Both teams 3-3 overall and 3-3 against the spread. The Browns a 3.5-point favorite. The over/under 42.5. ALCS tied at 2 games apiece. Astros at the Red Sox today for Game 5. Houston plus 110 on the money line. Boston minus 120. The over/under 9.5. The Braves up 2-1 in the NLCS. Plus 190 in Game 4. The Dodgers minus 210. Over/under 8. The 2021-22 NBA season is underway. The Brooklyn Nets, the early favorite to win the championship at plus 250. They're followed by the Lakers at plus 375. The Bucks, the defending champs, at plus 900. And the Golden State Warriors at plus 1,000.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortAndSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want it. And there's no extra cost to custom order. Plus, you get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates. This applies to 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, and Expedition. It's a win-win with a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford. You get the colors, the features, and the options that fit your life. Plus, you get notified when it's built, shipped, and ready to deliver. Listen, buying a new car or truck is likely the second largest investment you'll ever make. So why settle? Get exactly what you want with a custom factory order today. And get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
Looking for a great deal? Well, I've got one for you. Thom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. And at Valley Equipment, if you rent after 3 on a Friday or on a Saturday morning, you're not due back until Monday morning. So basically, you're getting the entire weekend for the price of one day. And if you're in the service or are a vet, they'll knock another 10% off. Valley Equipment is locally owned and involved in our community through charities and even supporting local teams. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. Stay tuned for info on where that will be and when it will open.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. That's actually pretty seasonal for this time of year. Overall, going to be a really nice afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Dropping into the upper 50s and lower 60s as we head into the overnight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be a pretty common theme through your Thursday afternoon. Not everybody's going to get wet at the exact same time, though, and the day's not going to be a complete wash. A partly sunny sky, temperatures hanging out in the mid and upper 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up today at noon. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Valley Equipment. You know, one of the cool things about Valley Equipment is that, you know, when you rent, you got the weekend coming up, right? So when you want to rent a piece of equipment after 3 o'clock on a Friday, you got it for the entire weekend. They're not going to come in on Sunday for you to bring it back in. So if you rent after Friday at 3 or Saturday morning before 12, you get charged 1 day for the weekend. And don't forget, if it's a big ticket item, well, how am I going to get that excavator over to my property? How am I going to get that skid steer over there to this job I want to do? If you don't have a rig, they'll deliver. They've got trucks to deliver. They can do that. Now, coming up in 2022, they're opening up a second location. Sometimes they say a new location, and then you think, oh, they're moving. Well, no, they're not moving from their location on the South Parkway. That location will be there. They're opening up a second location. We're going to tell you where that's going to be late next month. But they're going to have a second location, which is going to house bigger equipment, like your bulldozers and large excavators, backhoes, things like that. Billy equipment. I love this stuff because I love equipment. At the core, I grew up in the construction trades. At the very beginning, my father was a contractor and still is a contractor. My 82-year-old father still owns an electrical contracting firm in Southwest Florida. And he's not an electrician. He just is a contractor. He owns the firm. He has estimators and electricians and all that other kind of stuff. But before that, we were dirt contractors. And that was where I cut my teeth. It was the family business for years. My dad that was the family business since 1960, since I was born. And that's what I thought I was going to be doing. And I did that for about 13 years before the opportunities started, presenting themselves where I could get out of that business and into this business. But I still love doing stuff. I do stuff on my property. When we're going to put a fence line in the back, I'm the one that will do the post holes. And I got sons too. I might run. I might do it the way we did a little project at the station the other day. Right? Grizz was involved. Smokey Mike was involved. We did it after our staff meeting. We did a little quick staff meeting. Tyson was involved. And what did I do, Grizz? I walked around and I pointed, right? I mean, that's what I did. I pointed to here. Move that over here. Put that over there.
Yeah, telling us what to do.
Directing. You know what I mean? You got to have, okay, here's the plan. You two young guys, you're going to haul everything down to the dumpster. And then I'm going to take Moulton with me because Moulton knows where the bodies are buried. I'm going to take Moulton with me, and we're going to decide what's junk and what's real.
Then Moulton would walk away and then leave.
He disappeared on me. I didn't know what the hell happened. All of a sudden, I'm like, all right, where's Moulton? Let's go in the back room. I want to decide what's junk. We had so much stuff in the back, and I'm like, I want to decide what's junk and what's good. Steve? Dave!
Nope.
Dave!
Gone.
Where's Dave?
Give us a call.
Give us a call, Dave! Where did Steve go?
Give us a call, Steve.
Give us a call, Dave!
Give us a call, Steve.
Anybody know where Steve is? I'm like looking all over the place.
Gone.
I don't know where. Anybody know where Steve is?
Gone.
He went to get a dolly, from what I know.
He did. He went to get a dolly. Hello, Dolly.
For all I know.
Anyway, from the text window, Grizz.
Yeah.
On the issue of, Charlie Morton going up there and putting a bat on his shoulder and not doing anything.
Yeah.
From the text window, Whitey says, no. I made that comment. No, he says, that with Morton shows why we don't want the DH, because the manager had to make a hard decision that would be very likely highly impact the outcome of the game. And if you had a DH there and just some dude was up, then it wouldn't, Johan Camargo, who was actually in the on-deck circle there. If he was just batting in there in a DH, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
We want to have that hard decision. I understand that, but I don't think that there's anything entertaining about the game to see a guy go up there and just stand there and intentionally get out.
I just don't understand, because a lot of these guys growing up weren't pitchers a lot of times. They may not have grown up being a pitcher.
Or they were the best hitters. They were pitchers, and they were the best hitter on the team. In high school, the pitcher is the best hitter.
Why don't you just
They're the best athletes?
Why don't you just make him aggressive every time? I mean, I would just say, swing for the fence, swing away.
Because if he grounds into a double play, it's an inning double play. That's why. That's what they're worried about.
But, that's the same thing. Jeff from the Borough called in to Talking Ball earlier today and said, why don't you walk Cody Bellinger with a guy on second and first with one out? Which is absolutely.
How would you walk him?
Because
the guy was 1 for 3.
Because then I guess you don't give up the 3-run shot at the end.
Yeah, but who the hell knows he's gonna? He's hitting 260 in the series, right?
Exactly.
You throw him a high pitch that he hasn't been able to control. So to that point of the pitchers, a lot of these pitchers I think could hit.
Yeah.
And that brings me to
some
Shohei
Mike Hamptons
Ohtani.
out there.
I'm not saying that they're all Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
But there are guys you wonder if they work on it. And I want to throw this out there because I saw this and I felt like I needed to share it with our audience. We always talk about Babe Ruth and the greatness of Babe Ruth and the fact that he was a pitcher for the Red Sox and a great hitter, right? And by the time he got to the Yankees, he wasn't pitching anymore. He was just a right fielder and a hitter. I didn't know that, and I'm a historian in sports. I didn't know that. Do you know that Babe Ruth only pitched for 2 seasons? He only did this for 2 seasons. Yeah, I thought so too. He only pitched for 2. He only had 34 starts as a pitcher.
I gotta find my almanac. I've got one somewhere.
Shohei Ohtani has had 29 starts in 2018 and 2021. Remember, he had the Tommy John, so he was out in 19 and 20 in terms of pitching. But in his 2 seasons that he's been a pitcher, a full-time pitcher, 2018 and 2021, he's had 29 starts. Babe Ruth, in 1918 and 1919, the 2 seasons he was a pitcher, had 34 starts. Now, he pitched 300 innings in 34 starts. I mean, so that was a different kind of baseball then. What is that? That's 300 divided by 34. I mean, dude pitched 8.8 innings. He pitched 8 2/3, okay? Every game ever.
Yeah.
He pitched 8 2/3.
No closers.
That's the difference. Yeah, he closed for himself. Now, Ohtani has had just 5 fewer starts. Now, he's only pitched 156 innings because now you go 6 innings and they throw you a parade.
Yeah.
Right?
Gosh, yeah.
Babe Ruth, his won-loss percentage in the 2 years he was a pitcher, his won-loss record was 22-12. Which is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani's record in his starts in his 2 years as a pitcher is 12-3. 12-3. Babe Ruth's ERA was 2.55. Ohtani's ERA is 3.10. Pretty close. Babe Ruth struck out 70 guys. In 299 innings, in 34 starts, Babe Ruth struck out 70 guys. Shohei Ohtani, in 5 less starts and in 150 less innings, has 190 strikeouts. He has 120 more strikeouts than Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth had 749 at-bats as a hitter during that time. Do you know how many home runs he hit? This is the home run king of all times before, Henry Aaron. In 749 at-bats when Babe Ruth was a pitcher, he hit 40 home runs and hit 312 with 40 home runs and stole 13 bases. Shohei Ohtani, since he's been pitching, has had 772 at-bats. So we're talking about what, 20 more at-bats? Not even. We're talking about less than 20. We're talking about 17, 18 more at-bats in the 2 years. Ohtani has hit 84 home runs. Babe hit 40.
Wow.
While he was... Yes. I think... And he's stolen 32 bases. Babe stole 13. I don't think we have a full appreciation. I talked about it during the season some.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a full appreciation of exactly what in the hell this guy is. This guy is Babe freaking Ruth. And it's happening right before us. And because it's happening with the second team in L.A., nobody really pays attention.
Yeah.
We kind of pay attention, but nobody's really paying, across all of sports landscape. Tiger Woods, LeBron James. Now LeBron James wins championships. This guy's got to get the hell out of there. I don't know if they're going to win there. The 2 best players in baseball are Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani and a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
But this is every bit of the Tiger Woods, LeBron James. This is the next guy in that lineage of the very best athlete on the planet. And, how much do you really know? You don't really hear much about him. But I was startled. He's hit twice as many home runs as Babe Ruth during his time as a pitcher. The ERAs are relatively close, given the eras. His winning percentage is better than Babe was as a pitcher. Now, will he go on to hit 700 home runs? Probably not. Is he going to – how long do you think he keeps pitching? Can he keep doing this?
I don't know. That would just be a lot of wear and tear, I would think,
right. But
wear and tear on the shoulder, the elbow, everything.
But he is in the era of the DH.
Yeah.
But you wonder, how long do you keep pitching this guy?
But, how often – but that's the thing. It's like if I was a coach and I'm trying to figure out what's the best option for him, can I play him in the field? Right when he's done.
Played a little bit of right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if is he a better outfielder? Is he a better pitcher? Is he a better hitter? Like, it's just a lot of things that you kind of have to deal with, I'm sure, as a coach.
Well, with Babe, this kid is a better physical specimen than Babe was.
Oh yeah, obviously the guy.
The
guy was scarfing down hot dogs before he walked out to bat. So
But Babe was, he was fit when he was a Red Sox, but then he got fat, with the Yankees. But with Babe, they didn't have a DH. You had to play him in the field. He was probably a liability in the field after, in the second half of his career. But with Ohtani, it'll be interesting to see whether or not, Babe became a better hitter after he stopped pitching. Ohtani is hitting, he's hit 84 home runs in these 2 years that he's been a pitcher. So it's not hurting him.
Yeah.
In terms of it, right now, at least, it's not hurting him as far as the pitching goes. All right. UAB is on the move. The heck was that?
That was a big truck,
train,
car,
truck,
something
out there.
Truck, yeah. That was all the way from the Parkway too.
It scared me a little bit.
The Parkway's like further out too. I'm surprised I could hear that.
That was weird. UAB is on the move from Conference USA to the American. Are you now more apt to drive down 65 and go see a UAB game because they're in the AAC as opposed to the Conference USA? We'll discuss